Fingers crossed, this may be the last sitting day of this Parliament, or certainly could well be the last sitting day that this dreadful, tired, failing, rotten government has to face the Parliament. What we've seen, though, from the Prime Minister in the last 2 weeks, even for this bloke, is new lows. The chaos and division. He's lost control of his government and he's lost control of the Parliament. They can't win a vote on anything substantive now. The Liberals now seem to hate the Liberals. Even the moderate faction are splitting apart. The Nats, well, they've long hated the Nats, and the Liberals hate the Nats. That's where the government has got to now. He's like the guy at the pub at 3 a.m. at the end of the night. There's nothing else going on and he's desperate for a fight, flailing around, trying to have a fight with anyone. The guy has no agenda for the country. There's no legislative agenda to speak of. His entire strategy for Australia seems to be to make stuff up about Labor. Of the Prime Minister now lying about his lies in the last 2 weeks. His character is coming into sharp relief for Australians. Some of these lies, though, have real consequences for the country. The vaccination. We were at the front of the queue, apparently, according to the Prime Minister. Except that wasn't true, was it? We were at the back of the queue, last in the developed world. He was first in the queue for all other Australians. It was the long, far queue for them to try and get their vaccines. 3 years, 1,000 days since he promised Australia a National Anti-Corruption Commission. He has failed to introduce a piece of legislation that the Parliament can debate. Every time we or the crossbench or anyone in the Parliament try and bring on a debate on ICAC, he shuts it down. It's the only vote that he ever has on a corruption commission is to shut down debate. You know, he tells us everything's going great in the economy. How terrific is it? You know, wages are going fine. I mean, give me a break. In the 6 years before COVID, real wages in this country went backwards. Wage growth was near last in the OECD. But for the Prime Minister, that's fine. But in the last 12 months, real wages in this country have gone backwards by $700 while the cost of living skyrockets. But apparently the economy's going great. He tells lies about Labor. You know, oh, Labor's always higher taxing and higher spending, except that's not true, is it? The two highest taxing and highest spending governments in the last 30 years in Australia have both been Liberal governments. Inconvenient facts and lies from the Prime Minister. Some of his lies, though, are just weird. It's like he forgets that televisions record things or mobile phones, when you send texts, keep them. You know, the lie about, was it Shanghai Sam? I've never said Shanghai Sam, except he said it 17 times on 11 occasions, and it's still on his own Facebook page that you can look up. The lies about electric vehicles, they were going to end the weekend and you wouldn't be able to go camping or tow your trailer. And he said, oh, I didn't say that. Well, actually you did, mate. The lie about Hawaii. You know, he lied to the media and then he lied in Parliament. He lied about his lies and Albo pulls out the text message and he's like, mate, you're lying. Oh, I'm not lying. It's just weird. Shamefully, last Sunday, desperate for a distraction after the pressure he was under for failing to introduce a corruption commission, he's now tried a latest distraction of politicising and weaponising the serious issue of social media and bullying online. You know, this stuff, it's real. People have actually committed suicide. All of us, I think all Australians would want a safer environment for people online. There's no question about that. But you don't legislate by press release. You know, he's dragged this out of the bottom drawer, pressed the panic button. What are we going to do to distract people from the Corruption Commission debate? And now he's having a set of half-baked ideas put on the table that contradict stuff he said only a month ago. But if ever there was any doubt that the government has no agenda, it's the parliamentary sitting calendar. You know, from tonight, when the Parliament rises, whatever time that happens, until the 7th of August next year, if Scott Morrison gets his way, the House of Representatives will sit for just 10 days and the Senate for 5 days. Now, as a lot of people have observed, well, we do admit the government could get its whole legislative agenda done in that time, couldn't they? But that's not the point. You know, Australians deserve a lot better than this government. The Prime Minister is a liar, he's a fake, he's a fraud, and he's not up to his job. Well, you know, Christian Porter's decided to retire. He won't be missed. It's a matter for him. But the thing I think that I'm disappointed about, and most Australians will be disappointed about, is that the people of Pearce are now being denied the chance to vote him out of Parliament. We've managed to stare down the government on their shameful attempt to introduce Trump-style voter suppression laws. That's a really important win for our democracy, and I think that's something that people, you know, all Australians should celebrate and reflect on, that Labor has stopped the government, shirt-fronted them, from going down the American path. Now, I don't resile from my words about the Prime Minister. I don't like the man. I don't trust the man. I think they're fair and balanced observations now on his character, this pattern of behaviour that we've seen over a long time. So I don't resile from those criticisms. I wish that he was better at his job, and that's the core point for Australians. I really wish the bloke was better at his job. On one hand, depending on what state he's in, like in Queensland, he's totally against them. You know, you should be able to get a cup of coffee without it. But when he's in New South Wales, that has exactly the same rules, nothing to say. He likes to pretend to people that he's against mandatory vaccinations, except his own government has mandated vaccinations for aged care workers, for defence personnel, for journalists. You know, you're not allowed to attend the Prime Minister's press conferences unless you can prove your vaccination status. So sure, this is a debate which is being had, but it should require, I believe, national leadership. The Prime Minister's trying to absent the field, blame the premiers for any tough decisions which are taken on health advice, but claim the credit for that in terms of high vaccination rates. It's hypocritical. The only other thing I'd just add on that, what this new variant has brought home is the still ongoing worrying concerns about the lack of preparedness of the government. We're 2 years into the pandemic. There's no safe national quarantine system. They're now urgently revising the booster program. Well, you know, it's still not on track. Other countries are getting their booster shots earlier. There's no timeline. There's no firm plan. We're still not manufacturing mRNA vaccinations in this country. You know, we should have been doing that before, not just for vaccines. This mRNA technology is critical for new cancer drugs and a whole range of new medical therapies. But as the World Health Organization and the scientists tell us, and have told us for over a year, no one is safe until everyone is safe. Right? That's the thing. And we will continue to see new variants emerging from parts of the world with lower vaccination rates, because that's where the virus will mutate. That's a fact. So we need to do more, the developed world, and Australia needs to play its part to help the entire world get those vaccination rates up and slow the mutation and the spread. That's one way that we can protect ourselves.